So in this video today, we're going to take a quick look at some of the key terms and just things that we should know before we go into algebra. Okay, so one of the very basic things that we use in algebra is we use variables. Okay, a variable is a symbol. Okay, and most of the time we choose that symbol to be a letter that's going to represent a value, a number. Okay, and sometimes it's just a single value or multiple values. Okay, and then we use those variables within things that we call equations or expressions. Okay, so when we're talking about an equation, we're talking about something that does have an equal sign. Okay, whereas when we're talking about an expression, there's no equal sign. So if we look at something like 4x plus 2 equals 10, right, because this has an equal sign, we say that it's an equation. Whereas if we just looked at something like 4x plus 2, we would say that's an expression because there's no equal sign. Okay, we then have sort of key words that we use to talk about these types of things, like product, sum, quotient, and difference. These are sort of our main ones, right? So product is the answer of a multiplication problem. Sum is when we have addition. Quotient is division. And difference is subtraction. Okay, but we do have a couple other words that we can use in here. So we could also use something like more than or less than. Okay, these are two common ones that we see a lot, where more than tells us addition and less than tells us subtraction. Okay, the key with more than and less than is that they also tell us to change the order. So if I read something that says 3 less than a number, or 3 less than x, right, I would really write a number minus 3 because I'm also changing that order. Right, I read 3 first, but I'm writing it second. Okay, we can talk about our inequalities. We should know what our inequalities are. Okay, so our symbols like greater than, right? We should know that this one right here is greater than. We should know that this is less than. And really, these all actually have an is in front of it. So is greater than, is less than, is greater than or equal to. Shorthanding that there. And is less than or equal to. Okay, so we should definitely know those terms and what they are and that we could compare things with them. Okay, we should know some basics with opposites. So we should recognize that if I said what's the opposite of 6, we should know that the opposite is going to be -6. Okay, so we should know that the opposite tells us to use the opposite sign or to change the sign. Now, if you look in the textbook, you'll see a big fancy definition about its distance from 0. Okay, but it's fine if you just know like -4 has an opposite of +4. 1/2 has an opposite of -1/2. Whereas the absolute value of something, okay, is the 2 long bars that we put on the outside. So if I say something like the absolute value of 4, that tells me to always make it positive. So the absolute value of -4 is 4. And the absolute value of 3 is still just 3 because we always take the positive of it. Okay, and we we should also then be able to do very basic things with our variables, like combine like terms. So we should know if we have something like 2x plus 5 plus 3x, we should recognize that 2x and 3x are like terms, and we can put those together by taking a 2x plus a 3x and getting a 5x plus 5. Okay, we should also recognize that these cannot go together because one has an x and one does not. Okay, so maybe if we had something like 6x minus 3 plus 2x plus 7. Okay, we should know what signs go where with our like terms. So we should know that this 6x goes with this 2x, and that the sign in front of the number, right, we don't see anything here, so it's positive, is what determines how we put them together. So we need a positive 6x plus 2x and a negative 3 plus 7, which gives us a positive 4. Okay, if you have any questions about how to do these things, strongly recommend that you take time to come in during sort of our plus time and get some of those questions answered.